This is C135, broadcasting from the conference room, bringing you breaking news brought to you by Ariel, Cassidy, Lindsay, Shreya, and Vian.
Today I'll be discussing NASA's recent discovery of 1,284 planets. This was recorded as the largest bundle of exoplanets ever announced at one time. This was discovered by the Kepler Space Telescope. 9 of the planets could potentially be habitable due to surface temperatures that would allow liquid water to cool. Kepler is the first NASA mission to find potentially habitable Earth-sized planets.
Today I will tell you how meteorites may have caused giant tsunamis on Mars that are 10 times larger than anything we've seen on Earth. The tsunamis would have happened about 3.4 billion years ago when 2 meteors crashed into a sea on northern Mars. The first may have created waves 400 feet tall and washed over 220,000 square miles of inland. The second, which would have happened millions of years later, the meteorite may have struck a frozen ocean rather than something watery. So instead of flooding the inland, the slushy waves went over the land and stayed there. The evidence would be the channels made by receding waves, craters that once held seawater, and lobe-shaped fields. However, this is just a theory, and there's evidence that can prove it wrong and support it.
Today on National News, Google plans to make VR to masses. Google's going to make and sell its own headset, a sequel to the cardboard Google VR lead Clive Barker said on Thursday. It's sticking with the smartphone-based approach to virtual reality, with a headset that turns your existing phone into the screen. To make sure the next wave of Android phones are optimized for this kind of multitasking, Google's working with manufacturers to make sure that they add the right sensors and screens. The VR team is still working out the final materials and design, but they're hoping to make something lighter and softer than competing products like Samsung Gear VR, possibly using materials like fabric. Even though Google is making its own daydreams, it'll provide many designs for bits of hardware to Android phone makers and produce and sell their own versions. Google approaches to focus on reaching the widest number of people instead of creating the best, most immersive VR experience. Now, in addition to the action footage, Google is working with IMAX to build jump camera that can capture high-end cinema-grade video.
David Ortiz, or Big Papi, is a legend in Boston and is iconic in Red Sox history. A Red Sox newsletter, Sox Lunch, is campaigning for a life-size bronze statue of Ortiz outside of Fenway Park. Fans and conveners say they want it no later than the next opening day to celebrate the player's retirement.
Thank you, and stay tuned for our next news report. Bye!
Bye.